Oh, hello. Fancy meeting you here. How you doing?
Hi, welcome back. Oh, it's been a while,
It's
and
been a
I'm
whole week,
trying
and you're
to
just
get
trying to get
cozy.
cozy,
Well,
and you
as
just can't do it.
we have our internet corner at this property that we have, it's a big old stone building, 5 foot thick walls. So there's one little baby corner that we get the internet
That
really
you
well, and this is it. So got to make myself comfortable.
Well, we are finishing up today our JLo trilogy. We have already walked you through This Is Me dot 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 now. We've walked you through the greatest love story never told, except it was told by JLo, so it actually was told.
And it's like nothing great about it. It's just a love story and
Sorry.
a mediocre one
You
at that.
I was looking at my notes last time because I was like, oh, the one thing we forgot to mention was that, are you like clicking on buttons right now?
Yeah, can you hear it?
Yes, it's so loud.
Oh no, why I can't hear it at all. Hold on, hold
Oh,
on.
well.
Okay, we had to cut because Cadence was so offended that I was clicking something. She must have Morbius ears.
Listen, did I get a bunch of vampire bats? Yes. Do I keep them in a tunnel in my house? Yes. Am I a bat mommy? Yes. Did they give me
Bat
epic
mommy.
hearing? Also, yes.
Oh, speaking of
So,
bats, I found a little dead bat the other day
oh no.
when we're
Morbius would be
cleaning up.
so
Morbius
sad.
was so sad.
Wherever Morbius is, he's leaving a voice note to himself about how sad he is about that bat. He's like, oh man, I really love that one. So I was saying at the very end of last time, I realized I didn't mention in my notes that there's like this section of the JLo documentary at the end where she's like, I just feel like I want to show people like to believe in love, that love is real. And I don't think I'll ever truly be clear on if if she truly thinks that people like don't believe in love and that it's like a very rare thing to believe in. Because I'm like, I feel like everybody does for the most part. I don't think people think it's not a real thing, but I could be
J-Lo,
wrong.
she's a trendsetter. She's gonna try to like copyright the truest love story ever never told. She's gonna Mariah Christmas that stuff. Mariah Carey Christmas that stuff. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Well, that could be her name based on the amount of money that that song has made.
Wait, isn't
Um,
Mariah Carey and J-Lo, don't they have that feud where it's like, I don't know her?
yes, I also associate that with Mariah Carey saying I don't know her about J-Lo, but I could
Me
be
too.
wrong.
I thought
Could be
I
wrong.
thought that was it, but we'll see.
Here's the thing. So I go back to my seat, and J-Lo's sitting behind me. And I'm like, you know what? There was this whole thing when you were last on. There was the moment where you said, I don't know her. And then she
That
said,
was
I
so
know
long
her.
ago. I can't believe people still make such a big deal
I
out
know,
of
but
it.
do you know each other?
No.
You-
Okay, here's
she
the thing.
says you know her.
Okay, I know she. You know what? I'm very forgetful.
Okay.
Apparently, I'm forgetful.
Yes.
Because I don't remember the fact that it was just like, hi, I'm so and so, and then move on, and then like, hi, that's it.
Right.
If I had never had a conversation with you and someone asked me about you, I'd be like, I don't know him, but he seems cool,
Right.
or I don't know him.
Does she seem cool?
I don't know her.
I don't think they like each other.
I can't imagine that Mariah Carey likes a whole lot of people, but that's
Yeah,
just the way I imagine
You know
Mariah
what?
Carey.
She's the worst, but in a weird way, I'm like not mad about it because she's just so the worst that it's almost like funny at this point, but it's not funny to be the worst.
It's like a caricature. I have her on my mind just because I've been editing
Oh, do you?
like little reels from our old episodes that don't have any videos or anything. And I was just doing glitter and I was cracking up at everything about that movie and how weird it is.
Oh my
and-
gosh, I saw the one that you made of that I suggested it from Battlefield Earth.
Oh,
The dinosaur
yes.
one. Oh, I
Mhm.
love it. It was so ridiculous. It set the tone for the movie that a putt-putt golf dinosaur was the only thing to make it 3,000 years later.
Well, the mall also made it. They have paintings, Colin, in their cave of the giant beast that everyone's afraid of. They have a literal cave painting of this thing. And then they go into the wild and he's terrified of it and it's completely still.
I know it doesn't move.
It's not
I
even
know the
animatronics.
wind is not even blowing it, and not only is it a fearsome beast, it looks like a cartoon dinosaur. Like it's not
I'm like-
even a realistic looking beast. It looks like a big, overdrawn, like rosy cheeked putt putt golf dinosaur. And I'm thinking,
Yeah, like you guys literally wrote about like mythologies about this thing, and in your cave you tell stories about it, and it hasn't moved from one spot in that many
Ever.
years. Like, I can't. Anyway, I could go on and on
We
about
we
Battlefield Earth
digress,
all
but that was
over
a funny one.
again, but yeah. Anyway, so today we are finishing the trilogy, and we told you it was going to be a surprise. And so that surprise is The Boy Next Door from the Netflix movie that J-Lo stars in. And it was a real doozy. I loved every second of it.
Boy Next Door. I remember it was kind of like sultry when it came out.
I mean, yes and no. There's one sex scene in it. The rest of it is like if you asked AI to write like a suspense movie. It's so weird. It's like insert dialogue here about best friend, insert dialogue here from husband. Like, it was so strange in that way that I felt like it was a spec script. Like, it wasn't a real script. It was just like, this is like one we're just sort of testing out, like a rough draft. We're going to write the real dialogue in here later, but this is just the general idea.
But the director, Barbara Curry, she wrote it and it was inspired by her real life experiences. Did you know that?
Oh, I did not know that. It's a
It was
Blumhouse
inspired from
production.
her. Yeah, Blumhouse. And they do a lot of the like slasher. I feel like they do a lot of like
Yes.
horror movie. I know it's kind of like in the horror genre, but I was just noticing because I was like trying to see who directed it. And then I saw that it was Barbara Curry and she was a former criminal lawyer and it was inspired by her life's experiences. And it was filmed in
my
23 days.
That does not surprise me even a
That
little
does not
bit.
surprise me in the slightest.
But I am genuinely surprised if she was like a criminal, what did you say, attorney?
Criminal lawyer. Yeah. I
Oh,
guess an
because,
attorney,
like,
lawyer, that's the same thing, I guess.
There's not any lawyers in the whole movie, and the woman has sex with a teenager. So I'm like, are you a criminal lawyer that's having sex with kids or what? Like, what's the story
I know,
here?
because the whole thing is like the boy next door is really young, and yeah, yeah, you don't really want to say that about movies that are inspired on your own life experiences.
Yeah, maybe don't, or don't make the main character a teenager. If he ended up being a stalker or something, like, let's not get into teen territory, but whatever.
I think the actual like genre is horror thriller or suspense thriller, something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be suspense or something, yeah.
And I do remember it being like a very sultry kind of thing when it came out, like very scandalous, like along that 50 Shades of Grey, like campy, dumb, but like sultry in a weird way.
What I would have given for some more 50 Shades of Grey in the middle of this movie, I would have welcomed it with open arms.
We should do a 50 Shades, by the way.
We really do, because I've told you, I've only watched like 1.5 of those, but I still quote I'm not putting that in my butt line all the time because it will live in infamy forever. So maybe that should be our next trilogy.
Okay, let's talk about this movie, Boy Next Door. All right, so give us like a Cliff Notes version of the really complicated plot. Really.
Okay, I'll see if I can dumb
Slow
it
it down
down
for
for
us.
you.
Remember that one time you did, though? You were like, I'm going to break it down. And you ended up giving a 45-minute lecture. And then we were like, okay, Cadence.
It was 100% Morbius because it was like taking them back to Greece in their orphanage hospital place.
Yes.
And I was like trying to like...
You were like, okay, I'm going to set the stage. Greece, 1942, summer day, warm. A boy sees another boy with a twinkle in his eye. And I'm like, okay, not quite Cliff Notes, but...
I just want to take you there. I just want you to feel this in this moment. Okay, so this one's actually, I don't think I could make it longer if I tried. So Jennifer Lopez is in the process of getting a divorce. She's a school teacher. She has one son named Kevin. She is separated currently from her husband, Garrett, who is played by John Corbett. And they haven't filed for divorce yet, but they've been separated for 9 months, and she's
Because
not sure she wants to.
Cheated on.
He had an affair.
He had an affair, yes, with her. And her name is Claire.
Yes, her name is Claire, and his name is Garrett. The son's name is Kevin. So in the process of this separation, a boy moves in next door, and he's a hot young thing.
Hot little piece of ass.
He befriends her son, Kevin, and starts helping around the house. And eventually, she has sex with him. And this is kind of during the summer. So when she shows up for her first day of classes of that year, guess who's in her class? It's the hot young thing, Noah.
Hot young thing from next door. And we'll get into the nitty gritty of it later. But Claire basically hooks up with the boy next door who says he's 19. And he's like helping his crippled uncle or something. Can you say crippled anymore? Are you going to say that?
His uncle is sick.
His uncle
He's getting
is
some kind of transplant.
Yes, but he definitely cannot walk, and he like helps him with the wheelchair and whatnot. Yeah, and then that's the whole scandal is like she shows up to teach class in the fall, and guess who's in her class? It's Noah, the hot young thing from next door that you went to Pound Town with. It does, like Kaden said, gets a little crazy, goes down this really unnecessary craziness.
It does feel like it unwinds faster and more violently than anything would need to, but I guess I'm just
and without giving away too
situation.
much, we were both just talking about like it was consensual. He was over 18 and she didn't know he was a student. I think the whole scandalous part is that he's a student and she had sex with a student, but at the same time, he's 19. She didn't know. She's not married. So it's like, okay, well, you can just say, yeah, I made a mistake with this guy, but he's crazy.
Yep.
Like, you don't have to do all of his blackmailing. You can just be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this.
I was going to try to justify it somehow, but there really isn't. She could just have said, like, yeah, I made this choice and it didn't end well.
You could literally, like, you could be like, yeah, it was consensual. He's over 18 and I didn't know he was my student. And what are they going to say? You got to check everybody's, if they're a student before you have sex with them.
What I would love to talk about is how this movie opens, because remember how I said it's like an AI wrote this script? The first 3, like, flashbacks you get are like the side characters. So the first one is her husband, Garrett, in a flashback going,
I want to come home, Claire. Let me come home. Please.
And then the very next one is the son in a flashback going,
Don't tell me Dad's not coming back. Don't tell me that.
and then,
Instantly, we're like, oh, something has torn this family apart.
and then the third one is her BFF Christian Chenoweth, whose name is Vicky, going,
Claire, I love you like a sister, but you have got to get those divorce papers signed and move on.
It's just really painting a picture for you. Like, if we couldn't deduce that just from watching the movie.
Exactly. And it's like that flashback voice with like the kind of the echoey feel
Yeah, it's
that's
like a
happening,
dream-like
so you
kind
know.
of like, yeah. You're kind of like in a dream, but it's also real and it's emotional. I mean, at that point, I'm like, Claire,
Let him come home, Claire.
please don't tell me you guys are getting a divorce. What, do I believe the best friend? Do I believe the son? I'm already conflicted.
I don't know who to trust.
She's saying sign the divorce papers and she's my best friend, but the son is saying let dad come home. What do I do?
It was my favorite opening to any movie ever. I was like, okay, well, we know who everyone is and we know everything right away. So it was very efficient. Got it. Nailed it. She, as you know, she is kind of stuck in this limbo land with her separated husband. And so he's trying to get her to go on a camping trip with him and the son.
What are you guys doing for Labor Day?
I don't know why.
I thought we'd go camping like the old days.
Mom, too?
Yeah, of course. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, we could catch fish and Mom, you could cook it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Please.
And she's like,
You know what? That's the weekend before school starts. So, you guys should just keep it a guy trip.
and so right before they're supposed to go on this camping trip, she's heading out the door with her son, Kevin.
Mom, the door is jammed. Mom, look, can we just forget it? Because I don't want to see another doctor, okay? He's not going to tell you anything any different.
And she's like,
He is the best allergist in the valley, okay? We're going.
Okay, as one does.
right. So then they can't get out the garage door because it's stuck. All of a sudden, a real hot guy with muscles comes up and starts unsticking the garage door. Well, that's Noah. That's where she meets him. He's come over from next door. He's living with his uncle. And he's like,
I can fix that for you if you want. I can take a look at this real quick. It's the clutch. We can get another one at the hardware store if you want.
I am really great at fixing things. Can Kevin come with me to the hardware store? And literally Kevin's like,
We actually had somewhere to be, but now that we're going to be late. Mom?
and she's like,
Okay, go ahead.
you're right. You should just go to the hardware store. And I'm like, I have waited months to see specialists. Number one, you don't.
I know, and she just got done lecturing you about it. Like, you have to get that allergist appointment.
And so they don't show up, and I'm like, she will be charged a no-show fee because it's the same day.
She's dickmatized. She instantly is dickmatized.
She's
just
such
like,
a weird
you know
choice.
What?
She's like, we have been waiting months for this. He is the best allergist in California. You know what, though? The garage door does need to get fixed, and you don't know this guy at all, but go ahead and walk with him to the hardware
sweetheart.
store.
Go have a fun time. Remember who I want to stand for. Bye. I think it leads you to believe that she kind of finds him attractive, like, instantly. You know, you've got the classic, like,
I guess
muscly
he is, like,
guy who's
she's
kind of
charmed.
and she's charmed, but she's also kind of coy. And I think that maybe that's the way of being like, I'll let you into my life.
That's very much setting the stage. So they go to the hardware store, Noah and Kevin. And this is where also you find out
and
that
Kevin
Noah
is sneezing up a storm. He's having an allergy attack right there. But you know what? He missed an appointment. Got to go to that hardware store.
That garage door was
needs the
much
fixing.
more important. You learn a little bit about Noah at this point. He says, I'm
almost 20.
So he must be 19. They don't really nail down that age.
Well, I would guess, he could be 17 and in 3 years. Maybe he's just really stretching that almost.
I know. Well, that's kind of what my thought was like,
I thought so too, because I was confused.
And then he was like leading people to believe he was older than he was, but they never follow up. So I'm guessing he was 19. But to say almost 20 is weird, but whatever. He's said that like an accident that happened in his family has postponed his high school career. So he's needing to finish up his senior year this year. So he'll be going to that high school. So as they're about to check out, Noah also has he's one of those charmers where he can just sort of talk to anyone and he like kind of schmoozy. Kevin also has a crush on the girl who works, Allie, who works at the hardware store. So of course he facilitates like Kevin and Allie meeting each other and having a little cute moment. And as he's checking out with Allie, a bunch of gangbangers on their wheelie tennis shoes come in, and they are ready to cause some havoc.
Oh, look who it is, Wiz!
If I know one thing about teens, I know that they love to go to the hardware store on their wheelies.
Well, because, Colin, there's a skateboard section in the hardware store, and they skate right over to it.
Oh, this is very representative of real life. I mean, this movie was made in 2015, and we have a gang of wheelie kids. That is so funny.
I was cracking up. I'm like, I guess they had to give some reason for the wheelers to come into the store because there's just a whole section of skateboards hanging on the wall.
Buddy, move it.
So the point of this is that when he gets home, so Noah and Kevin get home, they fix the garage. Kevin leaves the room for a moment, and Noah says,
Hey, there was this kid at the hardware store giving him a hard time. Kept on calling him the Wiz.
Some of these kids on wheelies were making fun of him. They kept calling him the Wiz. And she's like,
he actually had an incident a couple of years ago on the playground where he got stung by a bee and his throat swelled up and he panicked and
he got stung by a bee. He couldn't breathe. His throat closed up and he peed in his pants. And she's like,
but please don't tell him I told you, he'd be mortified.
It's our little secret.
And he's like,
you can trust me.
Oh, that's
where it
that's
all
the ticket.
Starts going
that's
downhill.
the ticket.
But also, as you said, if he's like not breathing and peeing on himself, like, can we just see that allergist?
Take him to the allergist, Claire. What are you doing? Just let him go. This is the weirdest outing. To miss an appointment, you're right. To go to the hardware store with a stranger to fix the door is the weirdest excuse to not go see an allergist when you literally almost died by getting stung by a bee. Claire, not good parenting.
It feels like you're not prioritizing. So he kind of starts hanging around more and more. He starts teaching Kevin about fixing cars, and like Claire keeps kind of watching them out the window, and you can tell she's sort of like checking him out. Things are kind of getting tense. He meets her best friend, Vicky. And so he's having dinner with her and her best friend, Vicky, and Kevin, and they're all just chit-chatting. And when they go inside for a second, Vicky's like, I don't trust him. As absurd of a character as Vicky is, I do kind of side with her on this because apparently Noah has a real passion for Greek mythology.
Yeah. Forgot about that Greek mythos. Yes. Every 19-year-old has just a love for the Greek mythology.
And I can't disagree with Vicky about this because she's like,
strange kid.
Why?
Can't put my finger on it.
Don't try so hard.
Okay, he's interested in literature.
What boy, like teen boy, loves the classics and loves the Odyssey? And then he comes in and him and Claire start staring at each other intensely and quoting the Iliad and the Odyssey and Homer back to each other.
You know, I'm teaching Homer next semester.
He's my favorite.
You're kidding, right?
Second that.
Dude, you gotta read the Iliad. Achilles is this total badass, hot-tempered, full of pride, completely consumed by his emotions. You know what he called Agamemnon?
A pitiful excuse for a king.
To his face. Like, he killed this guy Hector, but instead of hiding out like a pussy, he...
Dragged his dead body around for everybody to see.
Yes. He stood by his actions, right or wrong.
Well, because to him, they were justified.
Homer's a genius, man. Just like Shakespeare, Byron, Zeppelin, Dylan.
Oh, poets.
Poets.
Oh, yeah.
It is the weirdest
That is hot.
scene.
Everybody loves the Iliad and the Odyssey, just speaking that sweet Greek mythology love language. Anybody who knows Greek mythology is mature and incredibly
It's
smart.
true.
And
dead
the funny
giveaway.
thing is this whole dinner, it's very sexy. There's a lot of eye fucking going on, a lot of like slow
Yes, and I'm
looks
like,
back and
you're in
forth.
front of your son and your BFF. Like, it's
She
very
can't hide
clear
it.
what's happening.
Maybe cool it with the sexy Iliad talk. She's practically moaning and rolling her eyes at this point.
It's a weird conversation, and it's like AI was like, they need to talk about something they both like.
If Iliad and Odyssey wasn't enough to get you guys hot and horny, they're already about to climax talking about this stuff, right? Then,
Yes.
as they're about to climax, guess what happens? Garrett, Claire's ex-husband, or soon-to-be divorced husband, comes and
Yes,
picks up
separated.
Kevin.
Kevin and Garrett are going on that father-son camping trip that Claire did not want to go on. And they also do him the favor of announcing it very loudly.
I'll have him back Sunday afternoon.
Bye, Mom. I love you.
Yeah, they're literally in the car just yelling their entire plan for the camping trip, exactly when they're going to be back and what. We'll be back Tuesday at 3 o'clock, so you will be completely alone until that time. See you then.
Bye. See you later. Bye. And of course, what's going to happen? Claire and Noah, boing. I mean, they're so hot and heavy from the
Okay.
Greek mythology talk.
But so she is wound up about that Greek mythology talk, but something really important happens right before this, which is Vicky, her BFF, tries to set up on a date that night, and she's gonna
Oh,
double date
yeah.
with Vicky and her friend. Which, number one, did you notice who that was?
No.
Did you notice? It was fucking Ethan Crane. It was Ethan Crane from Passions.
No.
Yes, our two worlds collided.
The friend that he brings along.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it was. And his name was Ethan, which made me laugh even harder. I was like, no, I even wrote in my notes, Colin, it's Ethan Crane.
It is Ethan Crane. He looks so
I
different.
I know. I was like, what? As soon as
Oh
I
my
saw him, I'm like, our
God.
worlds have collided. J-Lo
You
and
guys, we want to
Passions.
do Passions so bad. We have to do Passions with you guys.
Oh, we
It's
were
our
obsessed with
favorite.
Passions.
But yes, she does go on this obnoxious date.
This is another example of where AI is writing the script because you know that the date has to go badly, right? Like, you know that she can't really like this guy. It's all set up that she's going to be disappointed. And so he's like, starts insulting her.
So, Ethan tells me you teach English, is it?
The classics.
Wow.
What does that mean?
It's fancy. I mean, I don't know how many kids nowadays are going to use what they learned from classics. No offense.
And she's like,
Silly me, I just want them educated.
and he's like,
I'm fine with education, but we got to get them working. Practical skills. That's where the money is.
and she's like,
Money. That's the goal then. You know, money's fine except when it's motivated by greed.
is that what this is all about? We should be teaching kids how to make money. And he like just it's the most weird.
It's like have two people have opposite opinions, and it's like the most
and that's
vague
the
opposite.
conversation that results.
You don't think kids should learn the classics? No, I think kids should be in touch with the future. Oh, so the classics don't matter? No, ma'am, only the future matters. But you're saying that how would we know the future if we don't know the classics? The classics don't matter anymore. Only look at the future. I'm like, oh my God, come on. This is a dilemma.
That's exactly what happens almost word for word. It's the weirdest, most robotic conversation. And then he's like,
You're a little firecracker when you get riled up, aren't you?
and she's like,
Firecracker? Is that how you regard women with an opinion?
he's just like,
Only when they disagree with mine.
It is one of those conversations like, how do we have her not be interested in this guy at all? That's right. He doesn't like what she does.
And can you fathom someone sitting down and being like, I teach high school, I teach literature, I teach the classics.
And me being like, What do kids need literature for? Kids need to learn about having tax IDs. Who needs to learn about literature? I'd be like, excuse me, sir, this is my job. Literature sucks. I think we should just do finances for moving forward. So dumb.
It's so bizarre. I'm like, what world are you living in?
And you're
So
on a blind
he
date.
calls her-
You're on a blind date with Jennifer Lopez, the most beautiful woman in the
Yes.
world, and that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna insult her.
I was dead. I was like, what? Who wrote this and thought that anything about this would happen? So then she gets up to leave after he calls her a firecracker, but she's got one more burn in her back pocket because she turns around and she comes back and she goes,
J.K. Rowling,
I'm sorry.
billionaire, classics major.
J.K. Rowling. And he's like, what? She goes, she's a billionaire and she was a classics major.
Oh, J-Lo. J-Lo. Really spitting some fire there.
So you had to sort of get that in your brain because you see, like, she is trying to branch out and connect, but she just is meeting just the douchiest douches of all
The
time. So
worst
she goes
guys.
home.
It's so infomercial, lady. Going on dates
Yes,
with the
it
worst
totally is.
guys. Ugh.
Yeah, so she goes home to have some wine and smell some cookies.
So J-Lo gets home from this ridiculous date with this guy that doesn't like the classics. Ugh. And
He just believes in finance.
he just believes in finance and the growth and not classics. And she's just relaxing with a glass of wine and smelling some cookies. And No across the street, he sees that she's alone. And he's like, I'm going to use my pickup skills. And I'm going to use this really good line to get J-Lo over here. And he calls her and he's like,
Question. I tried to defrost a chicken in the microwave, and some of it's kind of cooked, some of it's kind of not. You think it's so cool to eat the cooked part?
No, do not eat that.
Please, come over and bail me out.
Okay.
oh no, I got this chicken. It's frozen. I don't know how to defrost it. And it's this weird, like, if you're putting yourself in context, it's like you're a grown woman and a high school boy is calling you to defrost chicken late
Right.
at night. And you're like,
Right.
don't be silly. Guys, they just can't do anything. Let me go over there and fix this for you because I'm a mother and I know how to prepare chicken. And so she goes over and helps him with this frozen chicken. And I think we all know what I mean when I say helps him with this frozen chicken.
Yeah, I had that same thought. I'm like, having raised teenagers, if someone Jonas's age called me that was like a friend of Jonas's and was like, can you come home with this chicken? It's like, nothing about that would be appealing. I'd be like, no, I fucking make everyone's food all the time, every day. I'm not going to come over and also make your dinner. Like, no, that's not fun for me.
Well,
but
if he was super hot.
I guess maybe if he was super duper hot and
But
I
even
don't
then,
know.
it's
But
a weird
she-
thing it doesn't feel sexy and it just feels really like a strange way to get, they could have written that so many other ways.
his incompetence, his like helpless incompetence is like so seductive. Like, I don't understand the context of that at all. Like, oh my God, I don't know how to do a basic thing. Can you help me?
I need a
That's
woman's
so-
womanly touch, but he's been laying it on hard. And I'm thinking at this
so
point,
thick.
she's still coming down. She's still throbbing from the conversation earlier about the classics and Greek
Oh,
mythology.
she's
like
wound
she's
up.
she's wound up going over this guy's house, and he is just ready to wind her up even more.
She's been having lots of red wine and only smelling the cookies, not eating them. So she doesn't have any food on her stomach. She left the restaurant before they
Yep.
got their meal because she was so mad.
And she's
So
mad at
just
that guy.
full of red wine. She's just full of red wine. So she goes
She comes
over
over
there.
with full stained teeth. She's like me back in the day. She's
She's
like,
like,
hey, I got
"Hey,
the chicken
no."
for you. You've put chicken in defrost for 340. What kind of stove do you have? Are you on the oven? Are you
This is
stoked?
gas or electric? Because the gas is electric. Because we
This
don't
is-
want to burn down the house.
You made a bad choice, buddy. This is Foster Farms. You don't want to eat that stuff. Like, it just, like, purple
He
teeth
would be
and
like,
slurring your words.
Actually, Claire,
made a mistake
never
here.
mind.
Actually, Claire,
I-
you're a fucking mess. Go home.
She's like, I think you mean I'm a firecracker. You think that's what you really
Oh,
meant?
what? So I'm supposed to go home? You don't like the classics? So the classics don't matter. We're supposed to just teach our kids to go home? He's like, Claire, sweetheart. You know what? I thought I was into this. Turns out,
This was 100% my bad.
you know what? I can actually defrost this chicken just fine. Are you sure about
I'm
that?
gonna
Let me
walk
help you.
this back. to walk this back. I feel like
That would
this
be
was
the
a bad
best.
call.
She's so drunk. He's just like, oh, you know what? Never mind, J-Lo.
Mind.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Want to
But,
smell
yeah.
my cookies? You want to smell my cookies?
You
Want
want
to
to
smell?
smell my cookie?
Want
One's
smell?
chocolate chip, one's salted caramel. Oh, it's bad. So they have a wild, hot night of sex. And of course, she wakes up the next morning and
Yeah.
regrets the chicken out of it.
And she tries really hard to kind of like resist him for a little bit. Like she's just like, no, and don't. And then he like starts going down on her, which I'm also like, no, 19-year-old boy is going to be a good lover. They're not going to
He
care
is
about
though,
you
Katie.
at
He likes the
all.
classics.
That's
Come on,
true.
he's teaching Kevin how to work on cars. He can fix your garage door. He likes the classics. He doesn't know how to defrost
He's
chicken.
a giving lover.
Of course he knows what he's doing down there.
Yeah. So anyway, she feels horrified the next morning. She's like, too much red wine. I got to get out of here. I got to go. Bye. And he's
But
like,
up
I
until
love
this
you,
point, though, we just have to be very clear. Like, she hasn't done anything wrong. She is a
Right.
separated woman. He is a 19-year-old man. They had consensual sex. So it's like leading you to believe, and that was the confusing
she's not
thing
his
about
teacher
this.
yet.
She's not his teacher. She doesn't know.
even know.
So it's like leading you to believe that this is like this scandalous thing happening. But up until this point, like, yes, she's a grown woman and he's really young, but there's no problem with that, right? You just had a little fling with
Yes.
him. But it's like leading you to
Yes.
believe that this is like just the most scandalous thing and her life is gonna just, well, wait till what no,
I
wait
mean,
till
just
Noah
when you
starts
wait and
getting a
see.
little bit intense. Yeah, I guess so. But I think it's funny because like up until this point, it's just a boring movie about a single mom.
Like she has sex with the younger guy. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
really,
big deal.
that's all it
Okay,
is.
let's go.
Then
Yep,
it
that's
takes a
all it
left
is.
turn.
And then it takes a left turn when Noah shows up to her class. But why does he need to take her class? He knows all the classics. He doesn't need to even take her
Colin.
class.
You don't even know that we will get to this, but he pulls a prank to get into her class. So he doesn't need it,
Mhm.
but he wants it, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is Cadence coming in for a quick solo session because we were going to record the second half of this and we ran into a few issues scheduling wise and so on and so forth, the chaos that usually is anytime we try to record. So we're going to do a new thing this week that we totally meant to do on purpose, and we're going to do a cliffhanger. So we're going to do this little mini-sode that kind of sets up the rest of the movie. And then it's going to be a ... to be continued. So next week, tune in for the rest of The Boy Next Door.